Hey Taurus, and welcome to your August 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And wow, you guys probably have some of the strongest, most prevalent, powerful archetypes coming forward in your reading. Out of many of the other signs this month, you have 4 major arcana cards and quite potent minor arcana as well. So I know that this month is quite defining for you and quite powerful. You should start like right into August feeling a good injection of energy, feeling like you have more impetus to accomplish what you need to, and feeling like you're ready to take on the world for sure. You've had this pressure that you've been dealing with for quite a long time, as a lot of people have needed a lot from Taurus. I feel like Taurus has been so over the last 2 years, like really accessed by a lot of people. You know, it's hard to get as much solitude. It's hard to disconnect. It's hard to move into a new space, and all of a sudden you have people from your past reaching out to you and trying to have closure or trying to access you in a difficult way. So I do sense that you might be feeling a little bit overstimulated moving into this month, and also you could possibly be wanting to step into that role yourself. I do sense a lot of Taurus are wanting to close a chapter or are wanting to reformat themselves, change a lot about their lives, change a lot about their aesthetic and their experience in general. So you might feel a need to tie up loose ends or a need to leave everything behind, to pack the car and, move to the new state, whatever it is. And you are supported in those types of thoughts this month, although there's a lot that needs to be tied up in a way that you might not have expected. I can see that very strongly. Who has been trying to access you? Who has been on your back burner? What ideas have been hard for you to hold on to? What have you wanted to do, and how have you done it? I feel like Taurus is shocked to see where they have gotten, and I feel for you guys with that. There's a heaviness there. There's a heaviness in where you actually are right now versus where you might have wanted to see yourself 3 or 4 years ago. So that's clicking and that's turning over right now. And you are having to cope with that. You are having to see that. And for some of you, it's going to be really beautiful as you kind of release a type of expectation that was draining yourself so strongly. But for some of you, there could be a bit of regret there, and there could be a cycle that forms so that you can get to that place where you release. You have the Tower in your reading this month. You have the World in your reading. Those two energies together for me represent the end of a chapter, the end of a story, the end of a struggle for a lot of you. It is the Tower reversed and the World reversed. I like the Tower reversed, but I don't so much like the World reversed. So you've got kind of a good and bad situation going on there. There is a sense of not wanting to let go of something. I can definitely see that strongly. There's a lot of grasping energy here. You might have projected yourself in a way that was once so right for you, so who you thought you were, and you may come into August realizing that it never was, but through your like a stubborn tendency, which isn't just stubborn for the heck of it. Taurus is stubborn, but it's with the desire to give honor to, the initial injection of energy. You see how things are, you get empowered by something, and that magical experience for you is really hard to let go of. And that's sort of where your stubborn nature comes from, because you can see the beauty of purpose, of ambition. And even during difficult times like this, you don't want to let go of that, because to you that might feel like you are giving up on yourself. So Taurus, in a way, has to give up on something this month. I feel that so powerfully. And it's not a matter of succumbing to failure. It's not a matter of quitting. It's a matter of ways that you've been before, or types of people that you've had and types of experiences that you've had no longer being what they needed to be for you at a certain time, when that cycle is now limiting you in what you can actually do now. So I sense that Taurus might have Found it difficult to change in the past, and perhaps even forged a personality that was really wonderful. And they're like, okay, I'm going to hold on to this, characteristic. I'm going to hold on to this job, this relationship, because this is who I am. And I also sensed that you didn't want to change that, because it was good. And you might have really come into this philosophy where you're like, okay, people don't change, people don't willfully change. And you find yourself now here in August of 2018 needing to change, needing something to change, and needing something to change quite quickly. And it's hard maybe to see that change could be so easy, but due to certain past philosophical characteristics that emerged, you don't allow that of yourself. That's a hard place to see Taurus right now, is choosing to not change because it either hurts your ego in the past, and ego is a big deal for everyone right now. Everybody has ego. Ego actually is not as bad as some people spin it to be, but it's troublesome in situations like this where you deny yourself nice situations because it hurts who you once were. Okay, you have changed, Taurus. You've changed a lot more than people might give you credit for. You've changed a lot more than you might have even seen within yourself. And I need you guys to see that. I need you guys to see that this month. I need you guys to see how much of a change it was to, you know, treat people the way that you recently have. And for some of you, that's been like really wonderful. Like you've overcome a lot by the way that you've communicated with people. I sense that Taurus have really helped. Even if you've been a bit impatient with people, even if you've surprised people in a difficult way, I feel that it has helped them to some degree, and it's made them face something within themselves. As Taurus is one of the most healing signs right now in very roundabout ways. Uranus is in your sign, and it gives you this like really electric quality to have a lot of power, basically, over people. Don't doubt, Taurus, how much people think about you and how much people want to see you succeed, but also want to have you in their lives. I think that Taurus, like pre 2016, was quite self-conscious or quite unaware of the power that they had, and then now you're emerging as this very like powerful person, and you've got to outgrow that person that you used to be. And I need you guys to see that. I need you guys to see who you were and who you are now, and realize that change not only happened, but that it might have been willful and that it might have been very necessary. And try to not hold, I just keep sensing like Taurus was very scared once upon a time of a certain change. So they laid out change as this type of concept that was very dangerous, and now it's so easy and now it's so wonderful for you, but you like inhibit yourself. You stop yourself from doing it to hold true to a value system which is, kind of died long ago. So, what does this bring with it? I know this is a lot just randomly coming up. This brings with it people of the past. It does. This brings with it amends. It brings with it strength, luck, and the falling of illusions and reality. Like you're gonna see reality this month, and I think that for some of you it is supported to set it straight, like set things straight for people who's in your life right now, who has been a parasite for a long time, who is leeching you right now, who and how is that a mutual thing too? Usually parasitic relationships, they're like a mutual, usually a parasite will not be able to thrive in an environment that does not pull it or that does not have something to give it. It's got to have something to get sustenance from. So I definitely want you guys to take a look at parasitic relationships in your life this month. I definitely want you guys to pay close attention to how you were when they were out of your life versus how you were when they were in your life. That can say a lot. And I also want you to remember how things started as well. What became parasitic? What became codependent? And were there third parties? What was the involvement there? Because you guys have a lot to show yourself. You have a lot to wake up to this month for sure. And you have so much to win and gain from that. You have 9 of Cups in your reading. You have strength. You have 10 of Pentacles. So not only do you have emotional benevolence, not only do you have purpose, but you also have, material, tangible prospects oncoming as well. So you have shaping up towards the end of this year, Taurus, with Jupiter in Scorpio. We actually have a fixed cross moving into August. Uranus in Taurus, Jupiter in Scorpio, Mars in Aquarius, and the Leo stuff that's happening in Leo time. So you have a complete like trifecta of like T square cross energy coming in to give you so much. So the rest of this year, as I was saying, becomes you giving that to yourself and not letting your older philosophies and concepts prevent that from coming in. I see that being very possible. Like if Taurus is like, I don't change, people don't change, um, people are not very fluid beings. I sense you really staying in like poverty consciousness, or I sense you not allowing yourself a really beautiful relationship because they remind you of that person who really hurt you, and you just like kind of keep jumping back to square one. That's a possibility, but you'll see it coming. That's not going to jump out at you. That's not going to be unexpected. You will have to like know that you're making that decision, and you will have to make it. All of the Taurus who can kind of lighten their load and become more graceful towards the past, become more graceful towards the you that's in the past, because there's resentment there. There's a bit of resentment there for quite a bit of Taurus about who they were and who they could have been, and that's bled off onto the people around you. And you might have had very resentful people around you as well, people who didn't know themselves, people who didn't know what they were doing, and that's like created a traumatic feedback loop. But August is here to finally kind of take it. I mean, this is like a anniversary for a lot of you, and that's like I just kind of got hit. I see like a lot of downloads. I see so many things for so many different Taurus. Like August feels like an anniversary for something. It marks something perhaps traumatic that you have to grow wings from, and the people from your past had to as well. And they'll be owning up to what their part was, and it feels karmically marking right now. So in reaction to that, Taurus, love is important, trust is important, and values are important. As long as those values are not ego based, as long as those values are not preventing you from actually, being happy. Sometimes Taurus, in its stubborn way, would prefer to be right than to be happy. Y'all know that. Y'all don't even have to argue with me. It's a little bit of tough love, but all the fixed signs can be that way. Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius sometimes would prefer to be right than to be happy. So find your happiness. Where was it? And maybe prioritize that now, because what I see from this reading is a lot of the energies that come in when people would rather be right than be happy. It's like you've been right, and now like this is what comes. Like because of being right, it's a lot of pain, and it's a lot of breaking, and it's a lot of beasts to tame. So anyway, Taurus, I'm going to go ahead and get into the week to week, because there's a lot of beautiful benevolent things coming in as well, and I feel like that kind of concludes the tough love difficult portion of this reading. But anyway, week number 1 in August, Taurus, you have 9 of Cups rooted down by the Hanged Man reversed. So you are ready to move on. The Hanged Man is reversed. You are tired of being constrained. You're tired perhaps of the place that you are. And 9 of Cups to me is always a gateway. It's like a gatekeeper type of energy. So you're trying to learn the password to move on to this new path in life. You're almost there. It might not happen right this second. Give yourself till like September or October to develop this, to learn the password, to gather things up, and count your money from the last 2 years or something, whether that be energetically or tangibly. But start to make a plan. I feel like making a plan in the first week of August is very important for you all. And I also feel like you have to find accountability there as well, like holding other people accountable. Sometimes Taurus will also, like, along with needing to be right about things, like Taurus also will not like shift accountability very easily. Like, you do like to be accountable for what you do, and you like to learn that lesson. I've definitely learned that from you guys. I feel like the Scorpio, like I'm a Scorpio, and the Scorpio Taurus axis, it deals a lot with accountability and trust, and in very deep ways. So accountability is coming up in the first week. Try to not hang yourself with accountability. Try to not constrain yourself with accountability. I feel like you've paid the price at this point in time. And also think about like what price are you making other people pay? People from your past, people who maybe put you through a difficult situation. There is a vengeful streak there, if I can be honest. There is a perhaps a need to release the constraints that you've implemented on other people. That could make you feel very nice as well. Week number 2, King of Cups reversed, rooted down by 2 of Swords reversed. So you have been on guard. Like, you have been, I think, like, weeding people out. You're not wanting to just exist in a group of people and not really care if they're the right people for you or not anymore. Like, you're ready to choose your like soul network, your support network, and it feels like a lot of people have fallen out of favor. Water signs. Water signs are emphasized. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces people are like coming up for sure. And I'm not sure if they're that great for you. I'm not sure if the water energy is very wonderful for anybody really, with this like Jupiter in Scorpio, Neptune in Pisces, and just having gone through Cancer time, we've had a lot of water trine stuff going on, and the water signs can be a little bit crazy right now, kind of unhealthy, kind of delusional in some cases, and Taurus does not care for delusional people. Like, it's not very apt to pretending or making mountains out of molehills or sugarcoating. So you like realism. You like to know how things are. So find realism and find that from within yourself as well. Have you been making anything more problematic than it needs to be? Have you made somebody from your past more of a problem than they were to gain motivation? Or have you also played people up, or try to not forget what people put you through and to just succumb to their wants now? I feel like you have to really remember your accountability here for sure. But week number 3, Taurus, you have the world reversed, rooted down by strength. Endings, gaining strength from those endings. You are not quite wanting to release something. That's what I was feeling in the very beginning of the reading. There's a platform that you have been building. There's a stage that you've been wanting to emerge onto, and you realize that in order to do that, you have to let go of a lot here, or you have to relinquish your dreams. It's either one or the other. You either have to let go of the pain of the past, or you have to let go of the desires for the future. Not both can usually stay. So you will gain a lot of strength from doing that, and you will see who's actually on your side as well. I do think that new people can definitely be coming in during this time as well to maybe help you to help guide you through this ending phase, because it is an ending phase for sure, and that's overall what I feel for this reading is August is a month of an ending phase, like where you've got to meet yourself with tough love, and you have to be prepared to make that transition. For some of you, it could be a move. For some of you, it could be a new job, or a new you, like easily enough, as if that's easy, but it is truly a new type of personality forming as well that will really benefit from not being caught up in old value systems that are outworn. But you have to have the strength to face that, and whenever you have like strong ending phases like this, Taurus, you have to see the irrefutable evidence. You have to see what things were really like, so that you can go on and make better decisions in the future. Again, like, disillusioned people have been hard on you, people who do not see things for the way that it actually was, or didn't see the reality of a situation, and you'll be called to also have that philosophy and that ability in a very true way, I feel, during that time, most definitely. Someone may think the world of you. You may think the world of someone. I could see that very easily as falling in love, and also for some of you, it could be ending a relationship, not because you don't love the person, but because you realize that you're holding each other back. Like, even if there's a lot of camaraderie, even if it's like a really good relationship, some of you could be a little bit held back by somebody. So there could be, okay, I'm going to have the strength to not waste my life like this. There could be a lot of situations like that. In the 4th week, you have the Tower reversed, rooted down by 10 of Pentacles reversed. Be careful of how you're spending your money. Be careful of what you're committing yourself to, because for some of you, that could be a scam. That could be, I sense that as like a con artist type of energy. I sense that as people wanting you to loan them money, or people who have found themselves in bad ways with bad people. So you aren't really called to be other people's saving grace right now. So watch out for leveraging yourself for the sake of other people. I also feel that family units can be very susceptible to damage during that time, whether this be your biological family, your friend family, or your family by marriage, whatever it is. Any type of unit, any type of connection or community can be, I don't know, just very unstable right now. So perhaps solitude is best in the 4th week. I would if I were you guys. I would not be around too many people. I wouldn't be, going into places that I know are going to be very dramatic, or where people are trying to, sort out who's like against them, and people are getting together just to talk about pain or misery. Watch out for, sometimes you guys are really good at healing other people just by like being there, and sometimes you can like attract people, like if you're at a party or if you're at a get together, like people just like want to sit and talk about their problems with you, or want to talk about where everything's gone wrong, and it can kind of bleed off onto you a little bit. I would just stay away from that type of thing during the 4th week of August if I were you, and I would make plans. I would count my money. I would count my my benevolence. I would count what I have gained, and I would see how can I make this into the reality that I want it to be. What changes can I make? Because change is going to be inevitable at the end of August and moving into September. Very karmic time for you guys. What happened like August a few years ago? What does August mean to you, and how can you heal from that? Because it's not like try to not be scared of this. Try to not be like, oh my gosh, I've had something go wrong and it's going to like reemerge. This is not about a reemergence. It's more about a clicking, like a click, a light bulb moment, and a karmic unwinding. And for some of you may make the choice to connect that in the physical world, like you reach out to people of the past, or you reach out to a loved one and commemorate something, and Seven of Cups reversed as your central theme. All of the illusions are falling through, all of the false horizons, all of the fakeness, all of the unrealness will fall, I feel, in August. And this is a huge blessing. As long as you are not relying on things being unreal for motivation, or as long as you're not relying on lies being your background, which I don't feel that many of you are. Taurus is a very truth-loving sign, but sometimes your values can be shady. Not shady as in like conny. It's not like a con type of shade, but your values can reflect something that did well for you once and never changes and shifts. So finding more morality, finding more virtue in what is truly you and you here and now, Taurus, is the key to this, as things which are really old and dilapidated or have been held onto for so long and really aren't you anymore can be problem areas. Not really so much even with the people that they might represent or the people of the past, but you could just see that applying that to the present just doesn't work, and it's a lot of energy to maintain a certain value set of people from the past. So just think about that and enjoy this month for the beauty that it does offer, which is truth, reality, and gracefulness. I sense Taurus to be so graceful. I sense Taurus to be overcoming their own problems. Unlike a lot of signs this month, I sense Taurus to be sturdiness and the foundation that remains after something falls through. So don't let any of what I've said be at all frightening or at all fear inducing, because it's not at all. There are just subtleties that I feel that I wanted to relate to you guys. Jupiter's in Scorpio. It's kind of a pungent, darker energy that you're navigating through, and it's like opposite you. It's staring straight back at you. I really think that the Jupiter and Scorpio energy is most striking to Taurus. Obviously, all the fixed signs, and especially Scorpio, are feeling that, but it's like at home. It's like within them. For Taurus, it's opposite, and you're having to like look at it like head on. So you're going to be looking at things head on this month and for the rest of the year, and I'm hoping that you guys choose grace and you choose to tame the beasts in a way that does not hurt you anymore. Proceed to prioritize your healing, Taurus, and to prioritize your soul light and what once could have been your soul light, what now is, etc., etc. I love you guys so much. You guys know you're some of my favorite people, and I have to give you a bit of tough love sometimes. And it seems to always go well. But anyway, please comment below how things are going for you and what this reading meant for you. And if you have any words of encouragement for Taurus or your own kind, that would also be very welcome and wonderful. If you guys haven't had the chance to subscribe to my channel yet, I would so appreciate it if you did. And your likes and comments mean the world to me. I'm on Twitter and Instagram in the description box below, and you can click the center of your screen to check out my Patreon page to get these readings early and ad-free. Much love, and we will be talking soon. Good luck, Taurus. Bye.